Healthy relationships and healthy relationship behaviors are very triggering to a severe dismissive avoidant. That's right, they are triggered by healthy relationships and healthy relationship behaviors. This is because a dismissive avoidant was on the receiving end of consistent childhood emotional neglect. They were not given that love and nurturing that they needed, and they had their feelings dismissed and rejected as children too. It wasn't safe to express themselves. They grew up in households where you don't talk about feelings. Their emotional needs were not met at all. So what they learned is that being close to somebody isn't safe, and expressing their feelings and needs isn't safe. And these are core components of healthy relationships. They personalize that neglect as well, growing up to feel defective, like there's something wrong with them, that they're not lovable. It's a wound of shame. So because of these wounds, a healthy partner that shows up in a healthy way, yes, even a securely attached partner, is going to trigger the heck out of a dismissive avoidant, especially a severe one. Because these following healthy relationship behaviors are triggering to them: communication, expectations, disagreements, emotional closeness. These are core components of a healthy relationship. In a healthy relationship, you need to be able to communicate your feelings and grow that emotional intimacy. Very triggering to them. Emotional closeness is not safe in their minds. Emotional distance feels safe, but you can't really have a healthy relationship without emotional intimacy and closeness. Communicating needs, communicating feelings, communicating disagreements is a very important part of a healthy relationship. But that's triggering to a dismissive avoidant because it wasn't safe for them to communicate their needs as a child, so they still feel like it's unsafe to do so as an adult. In their mind, a relationship should be just so easy that there's never any disagreements and never any need to communicate needs. Expectations, very triggering. They were not able to meet the expectations of their parents or caretakers as a child, so even having any expectations put on them in a relationship feels very triggering. But expectations are a normal, healthy part of a relationship. There are naturally expectations in a committed relationship. For example, expectations that you'll spend time together, expectations that your partner doesn't cheat on you, expectations that they're truthful to you, etc., etc. But having even the baseline of expectations is very triggering to them, and they're constantly in search of this fantasy relationship where there are not only no disagreements and no vulnerability, but no expectations as well. So you having your needs and communicating your needs in a healthy way, setting boundaries, letting the avoidant know what your limits are, is very triggering to them. But it is a core component of a healthy relationship. So it becomes specifically healthy relationship behaviors that are very triggering to a severe dismissive avoidant. This is why they're generally able to sustain unhealthy relationships far longer than relationships with healthy, emotionally available partners. Toxic partners, such as narcissists, they don't trigger dismissive avoidance in the way that a secure, healthy, emotionally available person does. Yes, anxious attachers will trigger them too because of that extra neediness and that extra clinginess, for sure. But even a secure partner that communicates their needs and boundaries and limits and expectations in a healthy way will be very triggering to the dismissive avoidant because they will perceive it as neediness and pressure as well. But why don't narcissistic people trigger them? Well, first of all, it's not healthy, which helps them feel safe. They don't have to be vulnerable with this person. The narcissistic person has their walls up. A narcissistic person is not emotionally available. They're not communicating in a healthy way. They are not growing true emotional intimacy. There's no vulnerability. It's all surface level and walled off. So the dismissive avoidant, well, they have an excuse to keep their walls up with the narcissistic partner. There's no threat of actual emotional intimacy. The relationship is inherently unhealthy, which makes it feel safe to them. So they can sustain relationships with unhealthy, emotionally unavailable partners a lot easier than they can sustain a relationship with a partner that is healthier and emotionally available. So, yeah, you showing up as a healthy partner triggers them.